Against the snow-capped high Atlas Mountains, Marrakesh is a timeless city of red sandstone. Storytellers still regale the public on the Jemaa el-Fnaa square, and an army of vendors sell their wares on haphazard interweaving alleys, packed tight to keep the sun at bay. Marrakesh went through two periods as an imperial capital, under the Almoravids and Almohads in medieval times, and the Saadian dynasty in the 16th century. These spells left the city with masterpieces of Hispano-Moorish art, like the 12th century Koutoubia Mosque, and the ruined palace and mausoleum of Sultan Ahmad al-Mansur, 1549 to 1603. Today we share the top 10 best things to do in Marrakesh so you can plan a trip and experience all the exciting attractions and activities this beautiful city has to offer. Starting with number 10, Medina. Marrakesh's walled old town is an indecipherable labyrinth of alleys converging in the west on the Jemaa el-Fnaa square under the emblematic 12th century minaret of the Koutoubia Mosque. You'll learn time and again that outward appearances can be deceiving in the Medina, and this goes for the plain-looking external walls of riads, courtyard mansions, giving no indication of the splendor of the mosaics and stuccowork within. Naturally, a riad would be the best accommodation in Marrakesh, and you can see inside more than a few that have been restored and turned into museums. At number 9 is the Koutoubia Mosque. The 77-meter minaret of the city's largest mosque has towered above the west side of the Medina for more than 800 years. When the French drew up the Ville Nouvelle, this medieval tower was still the guiding landmark and is visible for almost 30 kilometers. Completed in the reign of Almohad Caliph Yaqub al-Mansur, the minaret came before and inspired Seville's famous Giralda and the Hassan Tower in Rabat, also Almohad creations. Instead of steps, the minaret has a ramp inside, so that the muezzin could ride up to give the call to prayer. At number 8, Jemaa el-Fnaa. Marrakesh's fevered marketplace was born as a space for military parades and executions in front of the palace that preceded the Koutoubia Mosque. Jemaa el-Fnaa is a frenzy all day and into the night. In the afternoon there will be snake charmers, Barbary monkeys, orange juice stalls and water sellers. Later these withdraw to be replaced by a mass of dancing youths dressed as women, who wouldn't be permitted to dance, magicians, fire breathers, acrobats and storytellers, all soundtracked by bands of Nawa musicians in blue robes. At number 7, Ouzoud Waterfalls. Marrakesh's inland location puts awesome natural wonders within striking distance, and there's a whole catalog of once-in-a-lifetime experiences available. The Ouzoud Falls in the Middle Atlas Mountains are 150 kilometers northeast of the city, and this tour will take you there in the comfort of an air-conditioned minibus, safe in the hands of a local guide. The drive is memorable, passing through olive groves and little Berber villages perched in the high Atlas. The falls are breathtaking, where the El Abid River roars down 3 drops with a total height of 110 meters, into a vast gorge with mossy walls. At number 6 in our list, Jardin Majorelle. Yves Saint Laurent and his label's co-founder Pierre Berga bought up and restored this transformative garden and its cubist villa in the 1980s. It was all the work of Jacques Majorelle, 1886 to 1962, son of the fabled Art Nouveau furniture designer Louis Majorelle. Jacques spent more than 40 years perfecting this 2.5-hectare space, and you can wander among the bamboo, outlandish tall cactuses, and bright bougainvillea. Fronted by a square fountain in the same shade of cobalt blue, Majorelle's villa and studio holds a museum for Islamic art, presenting Saint Laurent's personal collection of North African textiles, ceramics, and jewelry, along with a collection of Majorelle's paintings. At number 5, Ben Youssef Madrasa. Until it closed in 1960, Marrakesh laid claim to one of the largest madrasas in North Africa, accommodating more than 800 students. This was completed during the reign of Sultan Abdullah al-Khalib, 1517 to 1574, on the site of an earlier Marinid dynasty madrasa from the middle of the 14th century. The complex opened as a historical site in 1982 and is designed around a magnificent interior courtyard, decorated to provoke a feeling of astonishment through its brilliant zellige mosaics, featherlight stuccowork, finely carved cedar and bands of Arabic calligraphy around a rectangular reflection pool. At number 4, Saadian Tombs. Members of the powerful Saadian dynasty, whose rule coincided with Marrakesh's apogee in the late 16th century, were laid to rest in this sumptuous walled mausoleum complex on the south side of the Koutoubia Mosque. The tombs date from the time of Ahmad al-Mansur, 1549 to 1603, and were lost for hundreds of years behind their indomitable walls until an aerial survey in the 1910s. Some 66 people are entombed in these 3 rooms, including al-Mansur, his son and grandson in the showpiece Hall of the 12 Columns. The tombs here are fashioned from Carrara marble, ensconced in kaleidoscopic zellige mosaics on the floor and lower walls, all under an astoundingly intricate dome of carved cedar. At number 3 in our list, Mellah. In Marrakesh's Jewish quarter, you'll notice that the city's already narrow streets constrict even more, and that the buildings are a little taller. This is because until the arrival of the French protectorate in 1912, Jews were unable to live outside this dense quarter, and so had to make the most of what little space there was. The quarter grew up in the middle of the 16th century during the Saadian dynasty, on the plot where the Sultan's stables used to be. At its height, it was a hectic neighborhood of jewelers, sugar traders, tailors, and bankers. At number 2, Museum of Marrakesh. Despite the name, the Museum of Marrakesh is concerned less with the history of the city and more with the architecture and decor of its admittedly beautiful building. Next to the Ben Youssef Madrasa, this is a palace built at the end of the 19th century for Mahdi Menbai, the defense minister under Sultan Moulay Abdelaziz, 1878 to 1943. The palace lost its sheen during a period of neglect, until it was restored and turned into a museum in the 1990s. The best bit is the unusually large patio, taking up more than 700 square meters, and dominated by a spectacular multi-tiered chandelier. Check out the number 1 places in our list, Atlas Mountains. The high Atlas Mountains are tantalizing and ever-present on Marrakesh's southern horizon, and this day trip will take you into the range's Imlo Valley for sublime mountain panoramas, a camelback ride, and a dose of Berber culture. On the way, you'll stop at a women's only argan oil cooperative to buy this coveted cosmetic product at its source. Later, at the town of Asni, you'll visit a Berber souk unaffected by tourism, followed by little hamlets, waterfalls, and a stop at the steep fertile terraces of Tamaterd, growing vegetables, corn and barley since time immemorial. Now it's time to hear from you. What's your favorite things to do in Marrakesh? Is there something we missed? Let us know in the comments section below, and don't forget to give this video a like and subscribe to Greenable if you haven't already. Click the bell icon to stay updated on all our latest content.